What's up? What's up? All right. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is D Train, D Train's Punk. I was watching a couple videos today, and Andrew Klavan, I think it's the Daily Wire YouTube channel, and he said that Trump had a three-step process, and I think he did a great job of uh of kind of conveying the process in a way, but I think he started on step three. So I have my own six step, and I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly here. So, first step is the provocation. He's always provoked. Somebody always verbally abuses him or verbally assaults him. They always say something that tries to take a ding out of the man. So that's the first. That's really the first thing. I call it the provocation or the initiation. That's the initiation of the tweet. Okay. You get that? Like, think about it. The 11 people, he had to go through. He didn't really attack, people unless he was attacked by them or in some way, shape, or form. I mean, in most cases, it's like, okay, you kind of did me wrong. So that leads to step two. He does his research or he has a memory. Like, you got to remember that man's like 70 something. Okay. And he has a lot of energy. And so, I think his body and his mind is holding up pretty good. So a lot of this stuff he probably just remembers. It's weird because I remember certain things from a few years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, y'all don't. I mean, I'm just like, why is nobody talking about that? You know, and now you got more people talking about Libya. You know what I'm saying? So, um, he has a memory, and not only that, he does research. He goes through the videos. He's like, all right, what did they really say? I got to see this. I bet he doesn't even like watching it, but he has to. Um, he watches that. He hears what's said. He might even write it down. I bet he writes it down just so you can see the words on the page. You know, um, and then part of the research is the counter research. Like, okay, what did they say? All right, and then I think in step three, he goes through his filter where he says, all right, if I had said it, what would they say to me? Right? You got to go through that because without going through that step, you won't. Your next step, which is the actual tweet, it could actually be offensive, and in some cases, you have a blind spot, but he's learning, right? Um, but at the same time, he's still, his own person. So, like I said, he's like 70. So it's like, you talk to some 70-year-olds, man. Sometimes you got to be ready for what's going to come out. It's a it's a different era, and I think, if we're gonna learn from the past, we have to be able to understand people who talk from the past on both sides, really, you know, without being disrespectful. So once he feels disrespected, though, that's where it starts. So he knows. I mean, I feel like he doesn't have any resentment towards any of the groups, really, the LGBT, the black, white, Jew, Asian, Latina, any of them, especially the Americans. right? Who gone through the process of of becoming an American or what have you, or if you born here for multi generationally, you know. But I feel like he tries to be fair. So that's that step three, that filter. You may not think he has one, but I mean, read this book. You got to read this book. Once you read this book, you'll get an understanding of the way he he looks at things. Sometimes he goes in hard and strong, and sometimes he just holds back for a while and just let things settle. I mean, it's not all one thing one way all the time, because I've seen it. Like I'm looking at all the people that's talked about him, right? And I look at the people he really went in on and the people he didn't say anything about, right? I mean, he hasn't said anything about Eminem that I can think of that was just like, all right, yeah, bump that guy. You know what I mean? I think he cares about him, and I think he also understands that. I don't know, maybe he's over that thing, but maybe he knows something that he doesn't want to just go there because just I think he actually feels compassion for the guy. But that's another thing. I said I was going to try to make it a little bit less long. So then step four, or am I on step three? Yeah, the step three was the filter. Step four, yeah, the tweet slam. Boom. Let's go. Talking all that Nikes. You talking all that? Okay, boom. Here we go. Let's do it. And it'll be long too, but it's gonna be truthful, and it's gonna be hard to contest because number five, the response. You're gonna get the racist response. That's gonna be the number one thing. But he already knows that's what they're gonna say. He's ready for that because that filter in step three. That filter. He's like, wait a minute. If I had said that, so that's that is what that is. Like going into a situation, be like, all right, come on, man. If I said the same thing you say, you know what I mean? So that's why he hardly ever. The only thing they can really say is that he's racist because you know, that doesn't really even mean anything anymore. You could just disagree with somebody and they'll make it racist. You know what I mean? I've heard some things that they call racist that had nothing to do with race at all. So it's almost like an empty claim at this point. So if you already know that's coming, right? You're just looking at this dude, mano e mano, or dude to dude, right? Or all right, man to man. You talking about me and those kids at the border, but you got a situation in your own home. You know, I ain't want to have to go there, but I just saw this, interview, this documentary on your place. They made a whole movie about your city, and you've been there the whole time. You know, what's going on? I mean, I'm not saying you can do it all, but you know, does he have a point? Well, that's where step five came in, the alt media. They're gonna find it if he had a point, and man, do they find it! It's an art form, dude. Shout out to Count Dankula, or not Count. Well, yeah, him too. But what's the dude that makes the memes and stuff? Dang. Um, they trying to like what do you call it? Show where he lives or his real name or something like that. Trying to mess up his life, and whatnot. Shout out to him and the people who are like that, who can just like put these things out. That's an admirable art form, you know, being able to not only get it out quickly and, pretty much hit the nail on the mark a few different times. It's all creativity. Some people just like think of something and just go, you know, just go. And those are the difference makers, the go people, the actors. Not actors like that, but I mean the ones who act, you know, the people who do, the doers. Maybe that's what I mean, the doers. I mean, the acting means doing, right? You doing something, even if you just, I don't know, even if you, I don't know, the people who do stuff, you know, producers, you know, and the consumers are ready to consume. Anyway, it's D Train's bunk. So yeah, that's gonna be that. So yeah, it's about a 6 step process, man. It ain't. It's not. I think it's a little bit more in depth, but you hit you're right on the money. It's just I think you're probably trying to simplify it for a bunch of people, but if you simplify it too much, they're gonna think he's just a doofus, dumbass. And I wouldn't want anybody who wrote that book to be considered a dumbass because it was insightful to see how many hours of the day and how well he uses those hours. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, not for nothing. It was a good piece. I just thought I might add a little bit to it. So, anyway, therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word, peace.